my relationship with food and emotional eating, that's something that every client emotional eats.
Yeah, we had this conversation when we first met.
Yeah. About emotional eating and who does what, because it affects people in different ways. But I swear, everyone emotional eats. My thing is I stress cook.
You literally fell into this because you wanted to document your eating journey.
I had no idea that I was going to do this. Yeah, literally fell into it. But I think when you're just being honest and you're doing things that you enjoy and seeing money as like the secondary thing, I really think that's how you find your actual passion. I don't think chasing money ever gets you to...
No, you're absolutely right. There's been so many parts of my kind of career that have involved having conversations with individuals like yourself, especially ones who have created their own path. And I find that so inspiring.
Literally brought up around Gore.
Yeah?
Yeah, only Punjabi family.
For people who don't understand what that means. White folk.
You know, like when things happen to you when you're a child?
Yeah.
They're a little bit traumatic. You don't really think about them until really late on in your life, and then you go back and you're like, oh, damn, like that actually happened. And it was a book that kind of sparked all of this. Like when I read Malcolm X's autobiography in my final year of uni.
Check you out.
Yeah, I started reading it and then I stopped.
Suddenly, people have like really locked in now since once you mentioned that. Go on.
I wanted to look. What was I trying to look like?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't trying to look like me. I wasn't trying to look like my mum. I wasn't trying to look like anyone that I'd come from.
Yeah.
I was trying to look like white people, the people that I'd been around. Yeah. And then I started.
I've always wanted to do that. You're a lot of females on Instagram, like with their hashtag self-love.
But they still look attractive to the arm bunda who's watching. Sorry, to the average man who's watching. No way! She did that!
This is actually something that I wanted to do initially when I first started Life Vocabulary. I wanted to have conversations with people and kind of share their stories. So we're just going to kick off. So introduce yourself.
Jaspreet. My name is Jaspreet.
Yep.
I am a health coach.
Yep.
Holistic health coach. So I help people make better choices, live their best life through their food choices on a daily basis.
And you are called Hipster Veggie.
That's me.
That stuck. So why? What made you choose the name?
Do you know what? When I first did it, it's literally... So I went vegetarian for a month. I want to say 3 years ago. I just did it like for a whim. Something like that. 3 years ago. Like it was a September, October. It was 2014. Yeah, I just graduated. Just left uni. Started a job. And I was like, oh, let me just go vegetarian. I don't know why. Did it. And then I started a blog. And it was initially just for me to like kind of document what I was eating. Because I was just like, what do vegetarians eat? I was that guy. And then I just made the name. You know that typical like, well, what do you even eat?
My chair. Sorry, I'm gonna do something about my chair. Every single person's like, Serena, your chair, and I'm like, it's got life of its own.
Can you hear it in the?
Always, guys. I'm really sorry. You can hear my chair.
The chair is always the third person.
It's not my butt. It's my chair. Go on. So you were saying.
So yeah, the name. It was just because being vegetarian at that point was such a like hipster thing to do.
Yeah.
And that's why I did it. That's literally the only reason. It was just almost like a piss take.
Yeah.
I didn't think that I would ever continue that blog past a month.
Right.
Like it was literally just I was posting pictures just so I could look back and see what I was eating after that month.
Oh wow.
All it was. And then after a month, I started to look into like going vegan, and about 6 months later I went vegan. And I was just posting pictures on my Instagram about what am I eating? This is what I'm doing. This is what restaurants I'm going to. And then I started to make YouTube videos.
Okay.
And then I trained to be a health coach, went back to uni, studied nutrition. And that's it. Now we're here.
I'm so sorry now my neighbour's knocking. We're properly keeping it real with you. So you kind of like had like, how has the growth been? Has it just been like that in terms of your platform?
I mean, if you're consistent and if you're honest in your content.
So how many years has it been?
Can I check?
Has it, like, are we talking about 1 year?
No.
We're talking just...
multiple years. Like, I want to say from 2014. Maybe like...
Okay.
I'd say, so I started YouTube maybe 2015 or 16. So 2 or 3 years.
Okay. So considering it's been under 3 years.
Yeah.
You've kind of gained a community of people who are waiting for your content and your monthly programs.
Yeah. Yeah. There's always people consistently commenting, DMing.
And who are they? Like, what's the kind of demographic?
The demographic.
What's the demographic?
Well, YouTube metrics tell me.
Yeah.
The demographic is mainly females. Like 90% of people who interact with me or join my programs, they're women. All of my one-to-one clients as well are women.
Right.
Usually between the ages. I think my video content is between the ages of about 16 and 35.
Okay.
Clients are a bit older because people who have money to kind of spend on that kind of thing. It's like having a personal trainer but for food.
Yeah.
So someone who's gonna like have money to spend on that.
Do you ever get bored or fed up or frustrated with the food? Like, it's become such a part of your life. It's like so central to everything. It's what you do and it's what you have to eat, and it's just there all the time.
I know what you mean. It's interesting that you say that because I do this thing. Sorry, my phone.
It's alright.
Wacko. Let's just turn this on. Do not disturb.
You know, these podcasts are unscripted and I don't cut anything out.
Oh, so all of that's
gonna be in it. Go on.
So with the food thing, it's interesting because I was thinking about this on the way there. Like, my relationship with food and emotional eating, that's something that every client emotional eats.
Yeah, we had this conversation when we first met.
Yeah. About emotional eating and who does what, because it affects people in different ways. But I swear, everyone emotional eats. My thing is I stress cook. So when I'm really stressed out, I love making like some mad meal or like a crazy like dessert that I've never made before. Like
I've never heard stress cook before, but it just makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
And that just like, because it's like, I don't know, say if an artiste is stressed, they'll paint.
Yeah.
Maybe, for example.
Yeah.
As a nutritionist, I like just getting into the kitchen and just free flowing with whatever ingredients I've got.
Yeah.
Not necessarily knowing what I'm going to create, but just making something and not even eating it at the end. Like, I'm happy for other people to eat it, but just that process of cooking and creating a meal out of just random things that are in my cupboard is enough for me to release all my stresses.
Wowzers.
Yeah. So food is a big thing of my life, but it's great.
But do you ever get bored of talking about it?
No.
Wow.
Mad, isn't it?
So you're really in your lane.
Yeah.
This is really your thing.
Yeah, I had so many jobs.
You did?
I had so many jobs. It's ridiculous. I was a teacher. I taught A-level media studies.
You did?
Yeah. I worked in a nursery with children. I was a graphic designer. What else have I done? I've just done a lot of things.
And you literally fell into this because you wanted to document your eating journey.
I had no idea that I was going to do this. Yeah. Literally fell into it. But I think when you're just being honest and you're doing things that you enjoy and seeing money as like the secondary thing, I really think that's how you find your actual passion. I don't think chasing money ever gets you to...
No, you're absolutely right. Oh my gosh.
You get it.
You are so right now on the button with what my current state of mind is.
Okay.
Because, and again, the reason why, this conversation has been a bit of a catalyst for me. So your energy is very well received, by the way.
What do you mean, catalyst?
So, when I started Life at Cabaret, I was wanting to shout out creatives. I wanted to provide commentary. I love content. I'm like all over it.
Yeah, you're always sharing like colours and like other things on you. Yeah.
So, and having come from print media and then trying to blog for years, I think I've like 10 blogs and then like delete.
Why? Why do you delete them?
It was just over so many years. I mean, there were so many times I was doing reviews of film and it was experimentation. But since I started Life at Cabaret, I was it kind of took me into kind of an arena, mainly music, and that's because I love music, and music is such a central part. Like food is for you, I guess. Music is like that for me. But there's been so many parts of my kind of career that have involved having conversations with individuals like yourself, especially ones who have created their own path, and I find that so inspiring. And so creating content for my platform has always been about how can we insight for people, how we can kind of create.
What does that mean?
Inciting. You know what? You're the first person who's actually stopped me to ask. It might even just be completely incorrect, but you know how you always hear this thing, inciting racial hatred. Inciting means to not provoke, but to bring up, to invite.
Okay.
kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry guys, I'm not that much of a
No,
geek.
it's making
I'm
sense.
not a smarty pants, but
It's making sense.
so for me it was like I want to insight. I want to bring more of that about. I want to provoke, kind of create thought-provoking content.
Okay.
And I love doing it in the music kind of arena, but kind of as I was explaining before, my side hustle has always been to speak to people like yourselves, and I create content for them around that. And I'm thinking, but what do I do all day and all week and all month? I have conversations, I record them, I edit them, I put them out. Why don't I have my conversations with my side hustle peeps on the podcast instead of just having that consultation with them in order to kind of extract their brand story? I'm like, why don't I do that? And it's like, because I've been thinking about that as a money thing. When I think about what I love to do, which is putting content out there, then suddenly it just clicked for me. It completely clicked for me. I'm like, right, this is really getting focused. And I used to really shy away from focus because I felt like someone was taking my toys away from me. I'm like, no,
I'll do everything.
I'll do everything. Leave me alone. I'm a creative.
I love how you use that word, creative. Like, instead of like using the term entrepreneur or like freelancer, it's always creative. And I think even like with my avenue of work with nutrition and food, I see it as creative as well, but a lot of people don't. They're like, no, that's very scientific. Like, I see it completely opposite because I create content on a weekly basis for YouTube. I create meal plans for my clients. I create, like food in the kitchen. But I just love that word because the word entrepreneur, I don't know what it is, but it's just like...
I know, I'm a little bit with that. And lately I got a little bit with creative as well. So I'm like, no, reclaim it. It's fine. But also then I use the word thought leaders, artists and creatives more. Kind of, those are the kinds of people I have conversations with. So you are leading with thought with the content you're putting out there. And lately I shared something with, about, I think it was Amanda Seales giving a distinction between... I don't think she was giving the distinction between a journalist and a commentator, but she was talking about providing commentary and how, talking about free speech and what that really means and how we all have a responsibility is what I took from it. It kind of like supported my point. It was that if you're providing commentary and content, don't just do it as a knee-jerk thing. Like, give it some legs, prepare, do your research. Don't just fling it out there because that's what everyone can do now. And that's when you're already putting thought into it, which makes you more of a thought leader, someone who is really spending time to create. So, you're spending all this time in your kitchen, you're doing your stress cooking, you're actually walking your talk. And off the back of that, you're providing the programs and content to your peeps. That is someone who's definitely not kind of putting out knee-jerk social media content or whatever.
For sure. And
you're the kind of person who I really want to spotlight and talk to. So that's why I feel like you're a bit of a catalyst because because I feel as if I needed to kind of create a separate... I thought I needed to create a different area for my content. By the way, this wasn't supposed to be about me, but this is what you've done. This is what you've done, Hipster Veggie. I thought, no, I create these podcasts or videos. Why can't this kick off a series? So I don't know what it's going to be called. Maybe People Talk. I don't know.
Maybe, because people talk.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Especially because that's what you do. That's your job. I don't know if people know that's your job. But that's what you do. You extract stories from people with brands.
Pretty much.
And you write about it.
Yeah.
So this is just that, but in content form.
This is basically your hosting. I love it.
So Serena.
It's like it never happens. It's great. But what's happening for you right now? So whereabouts in London are you based?
East London, near Essex.
Yes.
Essex.
East London.
Yeah, like literally brought up around Kaur.
Yeah?
Yeah. Only Punjabi family.
For people who don't understand what that means. White folk. White folk.
Yeah, white folk.
So whereabouts in Essex?
Chingford.
Yeah. Right. What was that like?
It was weird. It was really weird. And it's only something, like when things happen to you when you're a child.
Yeah.
They're a little bit traumatic. You don't really think about them until really late on in your life. And then you grow up and you're like, oh, damn. Like, that actually happened. And it was a book that kind of sparked all of this. Like, when I read Malcolm X's autobiography.
Right.
In my final year of uni.
Check you out.
Yeah, I started reading it and then I stopped.
Suddenly, people have like really locked in now since once you mentioned that. Go on.
So I started reading it final year of uni. dissertation and loads of other things took over. I stopped reading it after about 2 chapters. Once I left uni, I don't know, I just went, I don't know what happened, went through something in my head. Looking back at it, I must have been going through something, because I decided to dye my hair blonde.
You did?
Yeah, I dyed my hair blonde. And you know what, that's actually the reason that I stopped using chemical products in my hair.
Right.
And I stopped, you know, like, I'm not only plant-based, but I also, like, show
cosmetics
people,
and everything,
like, just very natural. Like, I don't wear makeup. I encourage people not to wear makeup and stuff like that. Just that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I dyed my hair blonde.
Yeah.
And then I lost my curl pattern. And my hair is, like, when it's not like this, it's very naturally curly.
Right.
And like, I loved my hair. When I lost my curl pattern, I freaked out, went to Boots, literally did this along the thing into like a basket, and just got every kind of conditioner that I could for blonde hair. I used it, it didn't do anything, it just made my hair soft.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is good, but where's my curls gone? Then I came across a brand called Mrs. Millie's.
Right.
And they are like, they're basically my family now. They're thought leaders.
Right.
100%. They are thought leaders when it comes to chemical-free living. They basically small family make their own hair and skincare products, completely 100% organic and natural, like genuinely natural. You see a lot of things saying natural and organic. There's not a lot of laws around labels.
Yeah.
So a company, I'm not gonna say names, but because this is your podcast,
name them.
So like, shall I actually?
Who cares?
Okay, so something like Shea Moisture or
Right.
Shea Moisture, I don't know how to pronounce it, but they all say natural organic, but you turn it around, you look at the ingredients, and it's just like, what is this?
Yeah, parabens and all that.
Yeah, just a load of crazy stuff that is just wrong to put on your
Acid.
hair. Acid. And just like poison.
Poo.
Ew. Why?
It's organic. Go on, sorry.
It's more organic than the stuff they put in.
Right.
So yeah, I came across them and I was just so desperate at this point. I had spent so much money on like just stupid products that were definitely not going to do anything for my hair.
Right.
Found them, started using it. First time I used it, it didn't do anything, but I was persistent because I was like, I've got this product, let me just try. Heard good reviews from it. Tried it again, didn't work. Tried it again, third time, my curls popped back.
Bam.
And I was like, what? Kept using it. That one tub of conditioner lasted me like 2 years.
Yeah.
Little goes a long way, and I still use it. Now, as you can see, the blonde has grown out. No more blonde.
So this was like how many years ago? Like just a couple of years ago?
I want to say 2014, 2015.
Okay, so like finally you got rid of the blonde.
Yeah, and it was like from here to like here.
Shit.
Yeah, like a lot of it was blonde. Anyway, once I kind of started, so I picked up Malcolm X again.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so we're getting to the,
back to the Malcolm X. Picked up Malcolm X again, and then I started to understand like why I dyed my hair blonde. And that really messed with me. And then I just cut loads of it off.
What was it?
Just like the self-hatred thing.
Yeah.
I wanted to look, what was I trying to look like?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't trying to look like me. I wasn't trying to look like my mum.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to look like anyone that I'd come from.
Yeah.
I was trying to look like white people. The people that I'd been around. Yeah. And then I started... click.
Okay. I've always wanted to do that.
That's so silly.
I love that.
Have you never done it? That was the perfect time.
That was perfect. Go on.
So that kind of it messed with me a little bit, and I ended up just cutting my hair really short because I was like, I can't have this blonde in my hair anymore. So I cut it. It still had blonde in the end. So it was a process of cutting and growing, just getting that blonde out of my hair.
So you didn't want to dye over it?
No, because I didn't want to damage the hair more.
Oh,
it was already bleached and
Man.
just frazzled. Yeah.
Yeah, I did go really light once. I'm not even going to say where I was because I just don't like the place and I don't want to rate it. And I don't go there anymore. And I went there twice. I'm not going to talk about it again.
I really want to know.
It's a place.
Okay.
I can't. I don't know what was going through my head, but I went there.
I'm gonna ask you after.
Dubai. Sorry.
I knew it.
Awful place.
Okay.
God awful place. Met some nice, lovely expats. I was staying with friends. Mm-hmm. So I didn't go to Atlantis and I didn't go on...
You didn't go to the park?
I didn't do any touristy things at all. It was literally just hanging out.
And not go to that... What's that thing?
That thing, exactly. No,
big,
exactly. I just had a very different experience. I was with expats. I'm doing in quotes,
Yeah.
immigrants basically. I don't know, like went to the salon and sorry guys, I don't know why suddenly I'm breaking out with an accent.
It's because, okay, so when I got here, I was saying like some words in Punjabi and so
Yeah.
really felt kind of comfy.
Yeah, it's like it just happens. I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, went to the salon and I'm like, what should I have done? Maybe I'll go lighter. And it went like, it was light. You know, it's like with our hair, if you dye it, yeah. So it's not like it went like golden brown.
No.
It went ginger.
Yeah.
So I looked ginger. They had to dye my eyebrows as well. Because it was
damn.
like, as
Stark
it is.
difference.
Yeah. And like now, I barely do anything to my eyebrows now.
Yeah, they look great.
And, but it's like, can you imagine? It was like strip of black and just orange hair.
Yeah.
So that took a while to grow out. So anyway, but
You
that's...
feel the pain.
Yeah,
You get
but it's
it.
really interesting. I want to ask you about something. I'm wondering what your opinion is on this. So you mentioned self-hatred, and that was something that you got from the Malcolm X biography?
Yeah.
Autobiography. What do you think of, and you know, we're not being judgmental, but what do you think of women now who are, let's say, I don't know, in your words, how would you describe that? Would you call that masking?
Yeah, because what you're trying to make yourself look like something that you're not.
Yeah.
And where are your ideals of good looking coming from, right?
Yeah.
My ideals came from, so when I was younger, I was bullied because I was like the only brown child in school,
Yeah.
primary school and secondary school, like
Right.
completely bullied. And I didn't realize it at the time. Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't realize that stuff was happening. But one of my earliest memories, and I'm sure many people can relate to this, is literally wanting blonde hair and blue eyes. I remember starkly thinking that.
Seriously?
Yeah, because one girl in my class was blonde haired, blue eyes, and
Right.
she was loved by teachers and our peers.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So that was one of my earliest memories. Like, I just have such weird throwbacks to certain situations in like primary school and stuff, where even teachers would just say messed up things. It's just like, how can you say that to a child? Like, how is that allowed? But
You were
that
the
obviously-
only brown child in the class.
Yeah,
In the school?
not in the school.
But in your class?
Yeah.
Because, like, growing up for me, 90% brown. Like, where we were in Hounslow, where you had, like, all the you know, a lot of the Indian,
Yeah.
Pakistani immigrants.
Yeah.
Expats. Yeah. So it was like, there were two.
Yeah, West London is really different to East London.
Yeah.
It's really different.
Especially where in Essex, where you
Like
were.
outskirts. There's not even a Gurdwara near us.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of Muslims, but they were still different because they would be cliquey, you know.
Yeah, very cliquey.
So, but I'm not Muslim or Pakistani.
Yeah.
So how can I get in with them?
Yeah.
Just a lot of people just didn't understand, and they would just say dumb things. And looking back at it now, it's just like I couldn't even stand up for myself because that was normal. I'd always been treated like that by white people. Anyway, that led to me obviously self-hating, hating myself, hating my family, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And then when I read Malcolm X, it's not like I stopped all of that. It was the blonde hair was like the first rung in like a really, you know, long ladder.
Yeah.
And it's still going. Like I still learn about things, and it's still I still didn't understand how much I hated myself. And people talk about self-love so lightly.
They do.
And I
wow, another universal moment. Go on.
I do really think that people talk about self-love way too easily, because you've got people who it's really sad, and I'm not an expert in like psychology, but I look at people and I can relate to them in terms of like what trauma they're going through.
Yeah.
Because I've been through that, like other young women, and they're talking about self-love, but it's like I've been there and I can't see that. I don't get it. You know?
Yeah, I do wonder sometimes, and I've got to just backtrack very quickly, because I think when you said something about Muslim communities being quite cliquey, I'm like, yeah, they're quite cliquey. Or you didn't say that, but I was like, yeah. And actually, I think about it, like, well, especially from my experience, I've got to rate my late dad, because he, although being a Muslim man, he was social with everyone. Like, his best mates were Sikh. They were like all the Punjabi lot who owned all the corner shops and the groceries in Cranford. So I mean, that is, I just wanted to kind of clarify. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to self-love, sometimes I wonder, you know, being in this Instagram age, there's a lot of females. You know how it's really funny how men say females.
Why? What do you mean?
I think it's really funny. It's like they won't say women. They're like, oh, you know, females.
Yeah. I get it.
Or, you know, with the females. Yeah. There's a lot of females on Instagram, like with the hashtag self-love.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know I wear makeup, but they're contoured to the heights.
I feel like you look the same without it, though.
Not entirely.
Okay, I think that you think that, but I think that you do look.
Yeah, I don't look massively different.
Like, I'd be able to be like, okay, that's me. And
that's still me. Yeah, because I've never contoured and I would never contour.
You're not changing.
I put a little bit of blush because I feel like I look dead in the mornings and I have to do a lot of this camera work, and I just would prefer, at this stage, if I'm absolutely honest with you, at this stage, I'm like, okay, in the same thing with the vegan thing, like getting more, I don't know, getting to a place where I know would be healthier for me. It's like a process of elimination.
Yeah.
Right? So it's almost like a couple of years back, I opted for a foundation that was even lighter. And then...
Lighter as in coverage or colour?
No, as in lighter in coverage. Yeah. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Yeah, lighter in coverage. I'm like, no, I just want to get to I want to eventually get to as much of a natural.
See your skin.
Yeah, pretty much.
See your beauty spots.
Like I can do this, and you can like there won't be.
Yeah.
Like it's very light.
Process. Yeah, it is a process.
It is a process, but no, I mean it is, and I don't want to be judgy, but I think that it's really important to mention and to not criticize, but point out.
Yeah.
Any kind of hypocrisy that might be happening even unconsciously.
Yeah.
Because we all need to educate our filters.
Yeah.
Because we're not filtering enough. We're seeing someone who is contoured so much, who might not even be... They're not being themselves, yet they're talking about self-love.
Yeah.
And that's not being judgy.
No, it's not.
But it's necessary to talk about. Yeah,
it's just an observation that I've noticed and something that I think is interesting when I see women. It's just because I feel empathetic. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want women to have to go through that, because women, like, as a woman growing up in the West, like, you are faced from like the moment you are born, you are like literally scrutinized about how you're gonna look, what you're gonna wear, are you pretty enough? It's like the biggest thing. Like, is your daughter pretty? Like,
do you think it's just the West though? Because that's quite rampant, that whole kind of thinking in the East.
I've never experienced it in the East. Whenever I go back to Punjab, like, I've never experienced anything like that, like with my cousins or anything.
Is that because you're considered according to the norms and conventions of beauty?
Maybe. You
are considered.
Because I'm from Balad as well, right? So I'm treated very differently.
Very different.
Anyways,
yeah.
Maybe.
So maybe that's why. It's interesting though.
It's the main thing is with me, like, even when I do my consultations, when I do talks at like schools and stuff like that, or youth clubs, it's like the girls, I don't want women to feel like that. That's the biggest thing. And that's why when I see women on social media who are contoured and stuff, like, I'm not saying, oh my God, you shouldn't wear makeup. Like, you're hating yourself.
Because what they would say is, but this is how I want to express myself.
Yeah. And this is how I'm comfortable. Yeah. And it's like, that's cool, but like, you are wearing a mask if you're making your face look different, you know? One of my friends on Instagram, he actually sent me something like ridiculous, like a video, and I opened it, and it was like a bunch of women who had put on makeup, wigs, and like also put on like something on their nose. Oh. Like to make their nose look smaller.
Oh, like basically contour lined it up.
No, like it was.
Oh, they've actually put something on it.
Yeah, like it was like I don't know, like a mould thing.
That's messed up.
Let's just say it looked like Play-Doh.
That's messed up.
Yeah, and then they were like literally taking it all off. So they took their wig off, they took their eyelashes off. Okay, that was still a bit weird for me because I was like, you look really different. And then they took off their makeup, and then they got a knife, and I was like, what are you doing?
Shut up.
And literally just went like this. And their face looked completely different. Their whole face shape changed because the wig gives you a certain like smaller face. They also contoured, so they look like this. But they took it off and their noses were bigger, and you know.
Then I wonder sometimes, and you know, it's like I try and feel as separate from myself as possible, in the sense of separate from my body, and try and look at this kind of vessel as being, okay, this is what you were given to me, and me is, and I'm not the body, right? And then I think, Serena, do you have pretty brown girl privilege? Because, like, and this is not an arrogant statement, it's not even a confident statement. According to social and convention kind of norms currently, you could have a look that is very acceptable, celebrated, promoted as pretty, right? So therefore, some of the work's done for you. So someone might say, yeah, Serena, you're talking about not needing that much makeup, but that's because you fit into current norms. So it's all right for you. Whereas it's not all right for me because of my skin tone.
Yeah.
Serena, you know, you've got a lighter brown skin with dark features. So obviously you're going to come across well according to current norms. And I remember there was a actress, gosh, was it actually Bo Derek? This isn't to do with the whole the Bo Derek wearing the braids.
I have no idea.
It doesn't matter. So anyway, so this is like a really old actress, and she did an interview with Oprah like years ago, and she said, at that time I was considered beautiful, but like a century ago, I would not be considered beautiful. So that's just according to what the norms are right now.
Yeah.
And I don't think that celebrating a more curvaceous woman is about celebrating natural beauty, because that's natural to the curvaceous woman.
Yeah.
It's not natural to the non-curvaceous woman.
Yeah,
so that's ridiculous, and that's just another thing to now throw around, which is...
It's just another label to be like, oh yeah, we're celebrating diversity. It's like...
No. It's like self-love. And...
Because even when you see plus-size models, their waist goes in.
Exactly.
If you are big, like, your waist don't... Like, it naturally, like... probably won't go like that, and so they're probably still using waist trainers and stuff to make their waist go in, so they still look attractive to the arm bunda who's watching. Sorry, to the average man who's watching. No way! She did that!
No, but the sound didn't come out. I'm like, damn! It's still not coming because I'm laughing at the same time.
Gotta watch the video, guys.
Just clicking my fingers because she said
like,
arm
in
bunda.
like a... You know,
yours is louder than mine.
That hood way, that East London way. You know, like Serena blatantly grew up in Ireland.
But
spent a lot of her time.
Yours is way louder than mine, though. That's just so the arm bunda. You say the average man. Go on.
Yeah, so it still looks good to the average man. I want to go back to what you were saying about brown girl privilege, because you know what, you're so right. When I talk about all of this stuff, like, I don't wear makeup, I don't do my eyebrows, I don't, you know, do certain things. It is because I probably fit in to standards of beauty, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to do my eyebrows because I don't have a one eyebrow.
You got wicked bone structure.
I have good, I've got good cheekbones.
Great balanced face, according to all the norms.
Exactly. So it's like, maybe that's why I feel more comfortable. Because
sorry, I felt like I was breaking you down. Like, I'm not going to give you a compliment.
But this is what I'm going to say.
No, but
it's true. Yeah. And I feel a little bit like, you can probably tell by my body language, it was just a bit weird saying that, because it's true. Like, I do have a privilege over other women. So like, a big thing that I used to get bullied for was being hairy, right? Because like, brown girls, our hair is darker and our skin is pretty light, so you can see the hair. And that was like a huge thing for Gore white people, because they just they could not comprehend that a girl would have hair on their arms. And it's like, you look at the Goria and they all still had hair, but it was blonde.
Goria meaning
white girls. They all had hair on their arms.
Because I used to look at their, like, I'm like, that's proper fluffy, but it's cool.
But it's blonde, so you can't see it. And it's just because they're white anyway, do you know what I mean? He's gonna... So that was like a big thing.
Although now, I suppose growing up, as young girls, they could have the hairy arms and it wouldn't be a big deal. Now, as a grown ass woman, they wouldn't be happy with having that kind of fluff. But anyway, carry on.
So that was like a big thing for me, and I started to like wax my arms religiously, like to just get rid of the hair. And then... Where was I going with this?
Talking about brown girl privilege.
Yeah, so that was a big thing for me. But now I get a lot of other brown girls in my DMs who say, you know, but I can't do what you do because of this, that, the other, because I have hair, because my skin isn't good, because of this, that, the other. And it's like, I feel like all of these imbalances, genuinely, this is going to sound really like I'm reaching. Yeah. But I really do think that a lot of imbalances that people feel insecure about it comes back to nutrition and health. Right. So like so when I stopped drinking dairy, and a lot of women notice this, my hair naturally kind of subsided. Like, I have like whiskers.
Yeah, me too.
But I used to have a lot of hair here. Right. And I used to have a lot of hair here, like a lot.
So we're pointing at your upper lip area.
And beard
And
area,
chin,
jawline kind of thing.
Jawline, yeah.
Also, my arms are a lot hairier.
Yeah.
And so are my legs.
Yeah.
But they're just not. And I really think that because of the hormones that are put into milk, that is why. Because my mother and grandmother naturally just have no hair, right?
So it was a dairy stitch for you.
Yeah. And I think a lot of women feel that. Like, I think that once you eliminate dairy, because that also comes with polycystic ovary syndrome, which is an imbalance in your hormones, and that means that you grow more hair, right?
Right.
I also had a lot of problems with my periods.
Right. Pardon me.
Pardon
iPhone generation. Go on.
Yeah, I had a lot of issues with like my periods as well, which is again a hormone imbalance. When I stopped drinking dairy, all of that stuff went. And it's like there must be a correlation. Like, I'm big for like research studies and scientific, but I'm big for anecdotal as well, and that was my lived experience. That's what happened. And a lot of women have messaged me and said that same thing has happened to them.
I like what you've said is like, so rather than trying to now get into the psychology of shit and say, well, this is why you're feeling this way. Okay, let's just get into the health side. What can you do to help the condition of your hair, your skin, your nails, and all of these kinds of things, and go that way? Because I suppose skin is a big thing.
Skin is such a huge... It's the first thing that people see.
Yeah.
And it can cause so many self-esteem issues.
Yeah.
And that's so understandable. So when a young woman has acne or eczema or psoriasis all over their face, of course they're going to feel a little bit funny. They'll probably cover it with makeup and make it worse.
Yeah.
So it's about getting to the root cause of all of these
And not
issues.
everyone can go to Harley Street and see some ridiculous, like, yeah.
Exactly. Not everyone has the tools to... Even with Harley Street, I don't think that they would necessarily go to the root cause of it.
No.
I think that their practice is a little bit flawed, but that is like the more expensive thing is usually seen as the better option, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a lot of people, we don't have the tools or the environment to seek help or like actually be able to think like, okay, what's the root cause? Because it's usually just go to your GP, free NHS, right?
Yeah.
Book an appointment with your GP, get prescribed steroid cream, put that on your face, and it will go. Once the steroid cream stops, it will come back, and probably worse. So then it's like getting to the root cause of that self-esteem issue and being like, okay, why is this even happen? Why do I have like acne? Is this something that can be fixed? So that's one side of it.
This is brilliant. Do you talk about a lot of this stuff on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I just did a skincare routine video. And when is this podcast going out? Probably not any, like, not this week.
I hope in a week.
Okay,
at
so
least.
the video will be uploaded. So
okay.
So check out my YouTube channel if you want to see that.
Yeah.
It's a skincare routine video, and it's very, very basic.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people will be quite underwhelmed with my skincare routine.
Yeah.
Because it's very stripped back. But I wanted to show young women that your skin literally just wants to... It
breathe.
will do its thing.
Oh, yeah, do its thing.
Yeah.
Because recently, I was like... Because sometimes I average 5 hours sleep. I know. And then I look at my face in the morning and I'm like, oh, Srini, you're such a buddhi. You look so tired. Buddhi meaning old lady. Sorry, not being ageist. Just saying, okay? I turned 40 this year.
And she looks 23. I can't believe it. Like, it's so mad.
So lately, this is the first time I've ever talked about my age on a podcast.
So mad. Like, when you said that you're 40, I was like...
I'm not 40 yet. I'm 39.
Oh, okay. But my jaw dropped.
Thanks, mum and dad, on the genes. But I think it's probably yoga.
Yeah.
And getting into holistic shit really early.
Yeah.
That's not to say I've kind of not neglected my body. I have.
Yeah.
But I guess for many years I've always like incorporated natural things into my daily routine. Yeah. But something that I did recently. So for instance, I would always have turmeric in a hot drink before bed. Just always.
Yeah.
And that's haldi. Yeah. I've always been conscious of anti-inflammatories. Yeah. Things like that. But lately I've resumed using a green tea tea bag on my face.
I've heard really
in the mornings, and literally after a week I was like, oh, thank God your skin's looking more clear. And but the thing is, it's not that, oh, okay, now, you know, the tiredness has kind of vanished a little bit. It's like, Srini, you still need to be on it with your sleep and you're winding down, because it's not that I'm not, and this is another thing about, us being in this age, especially when we're doing our own thing and we're constantly creating, we're always on it. When you're on it and your mind's buzzing, you need some kind of wind down, like early. You need to like check out from everything. Otherwise, forget it. Sleep's not going to happen.
100%. Like literally, I usually plan to be in bed by 10. Never happens because I've got some editing to do. So whatever. Whenever I get into bed, editing life, YouTube live, or I've got like some kind of meal plan for a client tomorrow that I've got to get done. Blah blah blah. Whatever. So my wind down happens. I'll put my phone on airplane mode.
Yeah.
And I'll just put Netflix on and I'll just watch.
Oh, amazing.
That's it. And then I'll watch like 2 episodes. I'll feel myself fall. I never fall asleep with the TV on.
Yeah.
Before I feel myself getting sleepy, I'll turn it off.
Yeah. And then you know what? I should put my phone on that mode as well. But the thing is, because of time, sometimes friends or people who are not in the UK would message at that time.
But
and I'm
would
like...
you message back?
I always do.
But should you?
I know.
That's another thing, because it's like we're so always readily available, and we should just take 8 hours out of our day to just not be readily available. It's not like I do this all the time.
I'm not looking at you going, how am I going to respond to people? Because by the time I respond to them, then they're sleeping.
Yeah.
And I want to get back to them in a timely fashion. So I've started to create little windows. So I'm like, so between 9 and 10:30, I've wound down from pretty much everything as much as I can.
Oh, that's good.
But I'm gonna be available for those kinds of kind of contact, just so there can be a bit of back and forth, so whether it's a DM or an email or a text or whatever.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's like I try to do my best. Listen, your content, I mean, if it's anything like what we've been speaking about, it's going to be great. I think so many people are going to love it. So all the links will be provided. But what are you working on at the moment? Because I know you do have your monthly programs.
Yeah.
And I could talk to you for days. And in fact, I would love to do another one. Absolutely. Yeah.
Girl,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But so anything that you want to talk about that you're working on currently?
Yeah, so like currently I'm doing 1-to-1 sessions with people. It's all over Skype or like FaceTime. Okay. So it's from the comfort of people's homes. Yeah. I have a couple of clients who I meet up in person. Yeah. But yeah, it's mainly over Skype. Talk about their health problems. So like the 3 things that I mainly get is digestion and bloating, skin issues and menstruation. So, you know, menstrual problems like heavy periods and stuff. Those are the 3 things that we work with my clients and just make... It's all about nutrition. It really is. If you make small changes in your daily life for like 3 to 6 months, you will notice a huge difference in your skin, digestion and periods. Yeah. It's a big thing. And then I also do a monthly group coaching program on Facebook, again online, so it doesn't matter where in the world you are, you can check in whenever. And it's all about, over those 21 days, I just break down transitioning to a healthy plant-based diet. There's ebooks provided. I think there's 9 or 10 ebooks. There's recipe books, food shopping lists, information on plant-based protein, which is like the biggest thing. Like, where am I going to get my protein from if I'm not eating meat? So just really breaking it down week by week with small goals. And then everyone's in the group together, so everyone encourages each other. Everyone, you know, posts a picture of like, oh, I just drank this much water today. Oh, I've just made this food. So it's just a really, if you're trying to transition, doing it by yourself, and you mentioned this in your podcast as well. Yes. Doing it by yourself isn't always easy. Having a friend or someone. So yeah, I do that. It's £35, pretty affordable. And you get so many resources, and the group stays open. Yeah. So I have my group from March still contact each other. Yeah, it's great because they still ask each other questions, and then I'm still readily available there as well. I love that. To answer the questions if they have a question about a certain cosmetic product or food or, you know, whatever.
People follow Hipster Veggie, Jaspreet. for the non-Punjabi speakers. Yeah. Hipster Veggie, it's been such a great convo. I could have, you know, there's so many times I'm like, oh, I want to talk more about this area, but actually maybe I'll reserve that for after hours. If you want to know what I'm talking about, then check out the links provided, because it's something new. It's another new thing that you'll literally imminently find out about. And you guys, you'll find links for it. So thanks again for coming on to so much for having this podcast. Absolutely, my pleasure. I love it. I love a fellow
brown girl.
Fellow brown girl. Love it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Now, outside of life vocabulary content, I extract brand stories for creatives, and that's what LV Creative is all about. So much like the independent artists that I interview and collaborate with on my shows, Table Talk, Album Talk, and so on, I work with other independents to try and get in between the lines of their brand narrative. Now, if you want to set up an hour Skype call for me to help you with your brand story, then all you have to do is DM me on my Instagram at serena.hussein or tweet me at Serena Hussein. Now, past and present clients like my branding process to be a little bit like therapy, because I really do like to get in between the lines and ask those deeper questions. So if this is something that you'd like to work with me on, then for sure holler at me and we can take it from there.